Welcome to the highway survival game. This is a migration of all humanity and an escape with no end. Whether you were a billionaire or a homeless beggar, none of that matters anymore. Everyone begins equally. One vehicle, one life. Your vehicle may be a plane, tank, taxi, bicycle, sports car, fire truck, subway train, or anything else. Whatever you receive, the necessary driving skills will automatically be granted. The highway beneath you stretches endlessly forward. It is your only path to survival. Remember, do not look back. The gray mist is chasing you. It moves at a constant speed. And it devours all living things. Gather resources. Strengthen your vehicle. And survive. Yeah, that was what I woke up to. Not an alarm clock. Not my phone. Not even someone screaming. Just a robotic voice calmly informing me that humanity had apparently been thrown into the world's largest traffic-related death game. I opened my eyes. Instead of my bedroom ceiling, I found myself staring through a windshield at a gloomy gray sky. My hands were already wrapped around a steering wheel. I blinked, then blinked again. Still a steering wheel. So I transmigrated. Honestly, after hearing Global Highway Survival Game, that seemed like the least unbelievable part. I checked my pockets. Phone, gone. Wallet, gone. In their place was a black leather manual. Very reassuring. Nothing says you're definitely not about to die like a mysterious black book appearing in your pocket. The cover had a blood-red timer glowing across it. Gray mist arrival 005932. Long. Even better. I opened the manual. 7 rules. Most were pretty straightforward. My vehicle was considered a safe zone. Nobody could enter without permission, and while I was inside it, other players couldn't directly attack me or steal anything stored on board. Monsters were apparently extremely dangerous. Killing them gave good resources. Vehicles could be upgraded. There was also something called sanity, and according to the manual, going insane was apparently a legitimate gameplay mechanic. Fantastic. Then came the most important part. 100,000 resource boxes had been scattered across the highway. And finally, think the word system to open my status panel. So naturally, system. A translucent blue screen appeared in front of me. Okay, we're officially in a video game. My personal stats weren't anything special. Named Lin Hui. Race human. Health fine slightly hungry. Sanity 100-100. Spirit 5. Physique 5. Average human. Perfect. I had been transported to another world and didn't even get complimentary super strength. Then I checked my vehicle and immediately reconsidered whether the system actually wanted me alive. Vehicle Civilian Type CRV. Level 1. Defense 20. Weight 3 tons. Space 8 cubic meters. Durability 50%. Left front tire severely worn. And then, fuel 2%. Estimated range 10 km. 10 kilometers. I stared at the number. You've got to be kidding me. The system's evaluation appeared underneath. Overall evaluation: a mobile iron coffin. Recommended action: locate a suitable graveyard immediately. Thanks. Very supportive. As if waiting for me to finish being insulted by my own vehicle, another announcement rang out. Area C996 announcement. Current region: Zombie Wasteland. Gray mist is currently 30 kilometers behind the starting zone. Gray mist speed 30 km/h. Escape immediately. I did the maths. 1 hour before the fog reached me. 10 kilometers of fuel. Which meant if I simply started driving now, my RV would die long before the gray mist did. So technically, I didn't own an RV. I owned a very large coffin capable of relocating itself 10 kilometers before burial. I opened the area channel. Absolute chaos. One guy was screaming because his Ferrari had somehow become a Wuling van. Another person had spawned with a tricycle. Someone else had a scooter. A guy was asking whether driving slowly would save enough fuel. Another person's gauge was already below red. and approximately every third message was some variation of, "I want to go home." At least I wasn't alone. Almost everyone had been given barely enough fuel to move, which made the system's intention painfully obvious. It wanted us outside. Resource boxes were scattered along the road, and if we wanted fuel, food, weapons, or anything useful, we'd have to risk leaving our vehicles and searching. You either went hunting for supplies, or sat inside your safe little car until the gray mist swallowed you. Simple, cruel, efficient, a population filter. I looked around my RV again. At least I didn't get a bicycle. Small victories. I reached for the ignition. Time to hunt resource boxes. And that was when something chimed inside my head. Not the normal robotic system voice. This one sounded different. Higher, cleaner, almost like it didn't belong to the same system. Compatible soul trait detected. Binding special ability. Binding successful. Unique talent acquired, gold trait per level. I froze. Excuse me. Every time your vehicle gains a level, you will obtain one gold trait. Gold traits may be permanently applied to any vehicle component. Then another message appeared. New player reward. Your vehicle begins at level 1. You may draw your first gold trait immediately. I slowly leaned back in my seat. Now that sounded more like proper transmigration treatment. All right. I smiled. Show me what you've got. A golden roulette wheel appeared in front of me. Only I could see it. It spun, and finally stopped. Golden light exploded across the cabin. A card appeared. Gold trait infinite. Quality golden legend. Type rule-based trait. Effect grants the selected component the property of infinity. Examples followed. Apply it to ammunition. Infinite bullets. Apply it to a water tank. Infinite water. Apply it to. My eyes slowly moved toward the fuel gauge. Still sitting miserably at 2%. No. Oh, this wasn't even a decision. Water mattered. Food mattered. Weapons mattered. But none of those things meant anything if the giant wall of supernatural fog behind me swallowed the entire vehicle. No movement meant deaths. Fuel was life. I glanced through the side mirror. Far in the distance, a gigantic gray wall stretched from the ground all the way into the sky. It moved silently, slowly, steadily, like the world's largest delete button. Yeah. I tapped the golden card. Put infinite on the fuel tank. Golden light flashed underneath the RV. Then the fuel gauge moved. 2%, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. The needle slammed against full. I stared, then laughed. Trait successfully applied. Fuel tank upgraded into Infinite Fuel Reactor. Fuel remains permanently at 100%. Fuel consumption none. Combustion efficiency plus 200%. Power output doubled. Excess energy automatically converts into vehicle electricity. Oh, this was disgusting. I loved it. Everyone else in the area channel was calculating whether turning off their headlights could save half a spoonful of fuel. Meanwhile, I had just unlocked perpetual motion. Messages were still flying past. Does driving at 20 km/h save fuel? You idiot, the fog moves at 30. Don't brake, preserve momentum. I threw my mattress out to reduce vehicle weight. That last guy was fighting for his life against aerodynamics. Respect. Couldn't be me though. I adjusted my seat, buckled my belt, started the engine, and pressed the accelerator all the way down. The RV exploded forward. I actually got shoved backward into the seat. What the? This definitely wasn't normal RV acceleration. The upgraded combustion system had transformed the old diesel engine into something possessed. 20 km/h. In seconds. A 3-ton RV was doing highway speeds like someone had installed a rocket engine underneath my bathroom. Beautiful. A little farther ahead, I passed another survivor. The poor guy was crawling along at maybe 35 kilometers per hour, probably trying to make every drop of gasoline last until retirement. Then I blasted past him at 100. I caught one glorious glimpse of his face through the window. Pure disbelief. His mouth actually fell open. I couldn't hear him, obviously, but I could practically imagine it. Brother, is your fuel free? Yes. Yes, it was. I checked my panel again. Fuel infinity. There are few symbols in the universe more beautiful than that one. The gray mist. Problem postponed. My first survival crisis. Solved. Now I needed supplies. About a minute later, I spotted something glowing green beside the highway. A wooden chest. Resource box. I stopped, checked for zombies, jumped outside, dragged it into my RV and opened it. Inside was a dark canister. Universal Fuel X1. One unit provides approximately 100 km of travel. I stared at it. Then at my infinite fuel gauge. Then back at the canister. Of course, the first fuel I find comes immediately after unlocking infinite fuel. Classic. Still, I wasn't disappointed. Because while this thing was useless to me, to everyone else, it was liquid gold. 100 kilometers could be the difference between escaping the gray mist and becoming fog-flavored human soup. Which meant this wasn't fuel. It was currency. So I kept driving. Fast. Very fast. And that's when another advantage of unlimited fuel became obvious. Everyone else had to ration their mileage. I didn't. Every resource box I spotted. Mine. Box after box disappeared into my RV. Food, water, equipment, fuel, daily necessities. Anything useful went inside. And somewhere behind me, players traveling the same highway were slowly losing their minds. Where are all the resource boxes? I've driven 30 kilometers and haven't seen one. Does this stupid game even have resources? Sorry guys. A 3-ton vacuum cleaner came through first. By nightfall, I had put hundreds of kilometers between myself and the starting point. According to the system, the gray mist was roughly 270 kilometers behind me, giving me almost 9 hours of breathing room. Good enough. I parked behind a mound that blocked some of the wind. Infinite fuel or not, I still needed sleep. More importantly, my front left tire was already complaining. The system described it as moderately worn. Translation: keep driving like a maniac and eventually find out what a 3-ton RV looks like without a wheel. Tires. Repair tools. Those went straight to the top of tomorrow's shopping list. I finally had time to inspect my new home properly. And calling it a home was generous. The living section was maybe 2 meters by 3. There was a folding table, 2 tiny sofas, a narrow bed, a bathroom so small that using the toilet probably qualified as yoga. Still, compared with the guy on the tricycle, luxury. I was just starting to relax when a strange howl passed across the wasteland. Then the temperature dropped. Fast. My breath turned white. Frost spread across the windows. What now? The system answered immediately. Cold wave warning. Outside temperature C. Temperature continues decreasing. Low temperatures may reduce physical performance and sanity. I opened the area channel. And my expression changed. Current survivors, 7,001,248/10 million. 3 million people. Gone. In less than a day. Some probably ran out of fuel. Some met zombies. Some got swallowed by the gray mist. And now the remaining 7 million were facing another problem. Freezing to death. The chat was miserable. My heater isn't working. Start your engine. I can't, I'll run out of fuel. I only have 20% left. If I use it tonight, how do I escape tomorrow? Someone offered food for gasoline. Someone offered a gun. Someone was just crying. And suddenly, the real cruelty of this cold wave became obvious. To survive the night, you needed heat. Heat required the engine. The engine consumed fuel, but fuel was also needed to escape the gray mist tomorrow. Use it tonight. Die tomorrow. Save it tonight. Maybe freeze before morning. A beautiful little death equation. For everyone except me. I looked at my fuel gauge. Still full. Unsolvable problem. I reached for the heater. Not really. Maximum fan. Maximum temperature. Hot air blasted into the cabin. The frost disappeared. Temperature climbed. 0, 10, 20, 26 degrees Celsius. I took my jacket off. Actually, little warm in here. While millions of people were rationing engine heat like it was nuclear material, I was sitting in a t-shirt adjusting the vent because my apocalypse was getting slightly stuffy. I almost felt guilty. Almost. Then I looked at the mountain of supplies I'd collected. During the day, my ridiculous speed had allowed me to grab over 100 resource boxes. And the contents weren't bad. I had more than 50 portions of universal fuel. 8 tires. Bottled water. Compressed biscuits. Crackers. Potato chips. Coke. Instant noodles. Legs. Sausages. Vegetables. Corn. Flashlights. Electric kettles. Induction cookers. And somehow, a complete mutton hotpot set. Okay, who designed these loot tables? Not that I was complaining. The biggest problem was space. My RV was basically becoming a warehouse with a steering wheel. And 55 containers of universal fuel took up a ridiculous amount of room. Then I remembered the area channel. Right, I didn't need fuel. Everyone else desperately did. Business opportunity. I posted one line. Lin Hui selling 1 universal fuel, private message offers. Silent. For maybe half a second. Then the entire channel exploded. Fuel. Who has extra fuel? Big brother save me. Can I have it for free? I'm freezing. I responded to that one immediately. No. Apparently this made me cold-blooded. Which was funny considering I was currently sitting at 26 degrees. Within 10 minutes I'd traded 10 units away. Food, water, supplies, and one especially interesting item. An axe gun. Basically what would happen if a firearm and an axe had a deeply irresponsible child. Only 3 bullets remained, but a weapon was a weapon. I stored it nearby. Then my stomach reminded me that surviving the apocalypse was apparently hungry work. My eyes landed on the mutton hotpot. Well, why not? I poured bottled water into the induction cooker. Turned it on. Normally, using an appliance like this inside a vehicle during a survival crisis would be an excellent way to murder your battery. But my Infinite Fuel Reactor automatically converted excess engine output into electricity, which meant my power supply was essentially unlimited too. I could boil water, charge equipment, run appliances, probably power an entire gamer setup if I ever found one. 2 minutes later, the broth was bubbling. I added the soup base, vegetables, mutton. Steam filled the RV. Outside, the temperature was below 0 and people in the area channel were begging for warm food. Inside, I dipped a piece of steaming mutton into sesame sauce. Bit down. No, that was incredible. The system actually reacted. Consumed delicious high-calorie food. Status satiated. Sanity recovering. Current sanity 100-100. Evaluation in the apocalypse, hot soup is worth more than gold. You know what? There. I took another sip of soup and looked through the window. Black wasteland. Howling wind. Frozen ground. Death waiting everywhere. Then I looked around my cabin. 26 degrees. Unlimited electricity. Enough food for weeks. Hot bud. Outside is hell. I picked up another piece of mutton. Inside is pretty nice. Still, this was only day 1. Infinite Fuel had solved one problem. It hadn't made me invincible. If I wanted to keep living comfortably like this, the RV had to become stronger. Thud. My chopsticks stopped. Something had hit the side of the vehicle. Then came another sound. SCRUCH. Claws dragging across metal. I slowly put the mutton down. Of course. Can't even finish dinner in peace. SCRUCH. There it was again. The kind of sound that makes your teeth hurt just hearing it. I put my chopsticks down. Goodbye, peaceful hotpot dinner. We barely knew each other. I moved toward the driver's seat and looked through the side window. Something stared back. Technically, someone. Once. Gray-white skin. Cloudy eyes. A mouth filled with disgusting black fluid. Sharp teeth. And claws currently embedded in my RV door. The system analyzed it. Strength zombie tier 1. Strength 30. Agility 5. Physique 30. For reference, a normal adult had around 5. I looked at my own physique. 5. Then at the zombie. 30. Yeah. If I went outside and tried fist fighting this thing, the obituary would be extremely short. Lin Hui, age 19, made one bad decision. The zombie raised one arm. Bang! The entire 3-ton RV shook. I grabbed the steering wheel. A fist-sized dent appeared in the door. 3 deep claw marks cut through the outer metal. Vehicle under attack. Defense successful but structural damage sustained. Okay. So my RV was less mobile fortress and more large soup can. And apparently this zombie owned a can opener. I reached for the axe gun. 3 bullets. 1 zombie. Sounds easy. Except firing meant opening a window. And opening a window meant putting my 5 physique human body within clawing range of Mr. 30 strength outside. I looked at the gun. Then at the claws. Then at the gun again. Nope. A real man knows when not to prove anything. Especially when the real man has access to 3 tons of diesel-powered violence. I put the weapon away. Grabbed the steering wheel. Released the handbrake. Shifted into drive. Oh right. I smiled at the zombie. I have an RV. Accelerator. Floor. ROOER. The vehicle launched forward. The zombie almost flew off, but its claws were buried deep enough into the door that it stayed attached. Metal shrieked. It snarled at me through the window. Still holding on. Vine. Ahead was a steel highway guardrail. That gave me an idea. A terrible idea. Which usually means an effective one. 80 km/h. The zombie was still hanging from the left side. At the last possible moment I turned hard. The RV swung toward the guardrail. And suddenly, zombie, meet highway infrastructure. Bang! The entire vehicle shuddered. The monster disappeared between 3 tons of moving RV and solid steel. The system chimed almost immediately. Killed tier 1 strength zombie. I exhaled. Well, that worked. Then the drops appeared. RV reinforcement blueprint LV1 right arrow LV2. Universal fuel X1. Sprite 500 ml X1. I stared at the list. A zombie dropped vehicle engineering plans, gasoline and lemon lime soda. Sure, why not? This world's economy was already beyond questioning. I drove farther before stopping somewhere safer. Then I went outside carrying the axe gun and a flashlight. The door looked terrible. Dents, scratches, metal warped from the guardrail. Whatever. Still opened. Still closed. Good enough. Back inside, I inspected the blueprint. RV upgrade requirements. Current RV level 1 complete. Steel 050. Rubber 710. The reward. Vehicle armor upgraded to 40 defense. More internal space. And most importantly, level 2, which meant my unique talent would activate again. Another gold trait. My first one had already broken the survival game by giving me infinite fuel. What would the second one do? Infinite ammunition. Invincible armor. Self-repair. Automatic weapons. I wanted that upgrade. Immediately. Which meant I needed 50 units of steel and 3 more rubber. According to the blueprint, steel could be dismantled from abandoned vehicles. Excellent. Time to become the apocalypse's least licensed scrapyard operator. Just then, someone posted desperately in the area channel. A woman named Li Shuang. Fashion model. Vehicle broken. Only about 3 kilometers away. She was begging someone to save her. Promising anything. I looked at the coordinates. Then closed the message. No, maybe that sounded heartless. But I had just watched 3 million people disappear. I had also nearly been turned into zombie dinner because I wanted one peaceful bowl of hot pot. This wasn't Earth anymore. Being kind without being capable was just another method of suicide. I closed my damaged door, started the engine, and put the upgrade blueprint on the dashboard. One fact had become extremely clear. On this highway, I shifted into drive. Vehicles are king. So I went hunting for scrap. I survived my first night. Technically, calling it sleep would be generous. I spent most of the night drifting between unconsciousness and wondering whether something was about to claw through my window. But hey, alive is alive. I woke up on my absurdly narrow bed and checked the countdown. Gray missed arrival 045402. Still less than 5 hours away. I'd driven another 3 hours during the night just to increase the distance. Infinite fuel meant I didn't need to worry about mileage. Unfortunately, unlimited gasoline did not include unlimited psychological comfort. Knowing a wall of supernatural death was permanently following me wasn't exactly relaxing. I washed my face. The mirror showed someone around 18 or 19. Short black hair. Calm eyes. A face that apparently belonged to me now. I looked normal. Maybe a little too calm considering humanity had been thrown into a zombie highway overnight. Then again, panic wasn't going to upgrade my RV. Instant noodles might. I made breakfast and opened the area channel. Survivors remaining. 5,211. Another 2 million gone overnight. 5 million deaths in roughly one day. Humanity was getting speedrun. The survivors were adapting quickly though. People were buying fuel, trading tires, looking for repair parts. Some had discovered zombies could drop blueprints, food, weapons, medicine, and other supplies. Others had started forming teams. And naturally, some people had already started murdering each other. Because apparently the apocalypse needed PvP. I closed the channel. Today's mission was simple. 50 steel. 10 rubber. I already had 7 rubber. Once I collected the rest, RV level 2 was mine. There was just one problem. I'd driven farther than most people. A lot farther. Meaning there weren't many abandoned player vehicles ahead of me. Hard to recycle cars when you're leading the migration. I briefly considered turning back. Riskier because of the gray mist. But manageable. Infinite fuel had spoiled me like that. I started driving slowly while scanning the wasteland. About 20 kilometers later, I saw something in the grass. Large, metal, military. I stopped. No way. A crashed helicopter. Not some tiny civilian toy either. Military helicopter. The body had snapped in half. Rotors were twisted. The entire thing was wrecked. To a normal person. Garbage. To me. 50 steel has entered the chat. That'll do. I drove off the highway toward it. Then I noticed the zombie. One creature wandered near the wreck. The system scanned it. Agile zombie tier 1. Strength 10. Agility 20. Physique 20. 20 agility. Basically top sprinter speed. Wonderful. Why couldn't zombies just politely shuffle around at walking pace like they used to? I had no interest in fighting it. Not yet. So I did something much safer. I revved the engine. Roar. Zombie heard big loud lunchbox. Zombie wanted lunchbox. Zombie-chased lunchbox. Simple. I drove away from the helicopter and let it follow. Yin follow. Yin follow. The thing was fast. But unfortunately for it, my RV was faster. 10 minutes later, I couldn't see it anymore. Perfect. I made a wide turn back toward the helicopter. Easy resources. Easy upgrade. What could possibly? Something felt wrong. My vehicle panel flashed. Warning. Durability 5%. Abnormal pressure detected in all 4 tires. Estimated remaining driving distance 50 km. My face went blank. What? I stopped and looked outside. All 4 tires were flat. Not worn. Not damaged naturally. Punctured. The rims were practically sitting on the dirt. I leaned closer. And there they were. Small triangular pieces of sharpened steel. Road spikes. Homemade. Placed perfectly where I hadn't seen them. Someone had trapped me. I've been set up. And whoever did it had moved fast. I heard an engine. There it is. A beat-up yellow sports car appeared and stopped around 20 meters away. 3 people got out. First guy. 30s. Black leather jacket. Large scar running down his face. Very welcoming. Second. A young woman. Pretty. Great figure. Standing slightly behind Scarface. Third. Yellow-haired guy with a car key spinning around his finger. Yellow hair approached first. Brother, you all right? His voice had concern. His face had concern. His acting had. Maybe 3 out of 10 concern. This place is dangerous, he said. You were stopped here for so long that we thought something happened. Sure. How considerate. I stayed inside the RV. One hand rested casually near my coat pocket. Inside that pocket. Axe gun. Flat tires. Oh, that's terrible. Yellow hair actually slapped his leg. Oscar-worthy performance. The gray mist is still chasing us. How about you come with us? Our car isn't great, but at least it runs. I raised an eyebrow. Your car? Exactly, everyone got thrown into this world together. We should help each other. Meanwhile, Scarface was staring at my RV like a starving man looking through the window of a steakhouse. And I understood. Their car was small. Beat up. Cold. Probably low on supplies. Mine? A large RV. Warm interior. Storage. Bed. Bathroom. And judging from its engine performance, obviously modified. They weren't here to save me. They were shopping. I just happened to be sitting inside the product. Yellow hair kept walking closer. His right hand stayed suspiciously behind his back. Scarface began moving from another angle. Cute. One distracts. One flanks. Classic. I'd seen better schemes in low-budget zombie movies. No thanks. I kept my voice flat. My vehicle can still be repaired. Yellow hair's expression twitched. Scarface moved closer. 5 meters now. Brother. His voice was rough. Don't be stubborn. We're all human. If we don't work together in a place like this, how are we supposed to survive? I stared at him. Then at yellow hair. Then at the steel spikes underneath my tires. And smiled. All right. Both of them paused. You guys can stop acting now. Yellow hair's smile stiffened. I pointed toward the ground. Those road spikes are yours, aren't they? Silence. Gone was the friendly act. Gone was the concern. Scarface's eyes turned cold. Yellow hair slowly stopped smiling. There it is. I sighed. That expression makes way more sense. Scarface took another step forward. Damn it. His hand moved toward his weapon. Since you figured it out. A murderous grin spread across his face. Don't blame us for being ruthless. He looked at the RV. Then back at me. You really think hiding inside that thing means we can't deal with you? I tightened my hand around the axe gun. 4 tires destroyed. 3 strangers outside. Gray mist behind us. Military helicopter full of steel nearby. And apparently I'd just unlocked the highway's newest game mode. Armed robbery. I smiled faintly. All right. Let's see who picked the wrong target.